Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dawn Psych MD, the world's favorite psychiatrist. I have a special treat for you today. I am in Zanzibar, Tanzania. Yes, I've been here for the past week. Unfortunately, I'm going home today, but it has been a wonderful experience, meaningful experience. And boy, do I have a treat for you. I did not forget about you. I have a treat for you today. I'm actually going to introduce someone to talk about their perspective on mental illness in their country. But before I do that, let me remind you who I am. Dr. Dawn Psych MD. My mission is to destigmatize mental illness and dispel its myths through awareness and education. And I want to do that on a global platform. And today I broke through that. So today we're airing from beautiful Tanzania, Zanzibar. Yes, look at those beautiful hues of blues behind me. Zanzibar is known for its beaches, fish, and also its spices. But we're not going to focus on that today. Today we're going to, as I stated, focus on mental health perspectives. So without further ado, I would like for you to like this segment. Even if you're not up at 2 o'clock at home, I wanted to make sure that you could see the beauty of where we're airing from. But please love us, love this segment, push all those hearts, and share this with everyone you know. Because what I want to do is to make sure that this platform is shared with not only Americans, but globally. Mental illness is something that does not just affect one culture, one country. It is actually affecting millions and billions of individuals. So today, without further ado, I would like to introduce Miss Glory. Isn't she beautiful? Yes. Yes. So Glory, first I'm going to have her speak about who she is, give you some background information about her, and then we'll get the segment started. It's all you, Miss Glory.
Hi there. My name is Glory. I come from Arusha, Tanzania. And I studied wildlife management and tourism, and I work in tourism sector. And I'm 27 years old. I am single parent, and I love all about people and meeting new people and learning about environment and all things which affect human being. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Miss Glory, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and also your space. Miss Glory, to begin, what is your perception when someone asks you about mental illness? What comes to mind?
First of all, when a person say about mental sickness, I'll know like people are like crazy. Some of them we count them like they're crazy. We call them like it's not people you can trust. We are fearing them. Mental illness, maybe they can do, even they can, for example, they can rape. Because we think like mental sickness people are the people who, they don't have ability to think. We think like they have sickness, healthy in them, and sometimes we think like maybe they have a blessing from their, like traditional belief. People think like maybe they did something wrong to a community, and all the people maybe tell them like, oh, this is a blessing, and we count them like they lack something, they lack blessing from their family, or they inherit wrong act or anything. So yeah, we know that they are mental sickness, and in my perspective way of thinking, I know that they need help. Some of them they can recover, but it depends on status of a person. Some of them they're in the hospital, yeah. Some of them they are just in the street, and even their family don't appreciate being with them because they don't like them.
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting that you mention and give some examples of your perception of mental illness being the word crazy. Crazy is often also used in America. And what I also tell my followers is that I don't particularly or specifically use the word crazy because everyone has an idea of what crazy is.
Yeah.
But it sounds like when you say crazy, it is actually a global term that means the same thing. Yeah. You also mentioned something about someone having a mental illness and it may actually not be a blessing but a curse. Maybe they did something to their family. Maybe this is something a part of a generational curse.
Yeah.
And therefore they lack the cognition or the emotional ingenuity to, live in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that you see people like in the streets. So it sounds like we do have some similarities in when we think about mental health. So do you, in your experience, have you observed or witnessed any person that may be close to you or anyone that you know that has sought mental illness or mental health in your community? Dona Rosa?
Yeah, I know there are some people who have like mental sickness in our community, and they don't ask for help, or even the family don't think of finding help for them. It's just like you take a person as he is or she is. We take when we don't know like really starter of how to help. There is no awareness like we can sort kind of problem like those. We just take like if a person you think is like people they can just point a finger and say like this person has mental illness, don't come close, don't do this, he will act wrong, he will be like an emotional to take it, he can fight you, he can throw anything from or a stone. We just don't play with them, we don't go near. But people don't think that it's easy to solve those problems, or they don't seek doctors. We don't think like it's uncommon, and it's not. Yeah, it's uncommon to find solution or to find people who really want to help them.
Interesting. So these individuals are, and I want to make sure I understand you correctly, are treated as outcasts of your community. So they're kind of isolated. You don't necessarily engage with them. And it's something that you don't want any a part of. So how do these people get help? Do you know who's available, or is there someone that can assist them? And you also mentioned that there's not many people that are available to help. So people like me, like a psychiatrist, do you find that there are psychiatrists in the community that help them, or even general doctors? No. Even here in Tanzania, or maybe in most of the places, I don't see like there is no consultation with a doctor. If you want to see a doctor, you need to prepare to pay a lot of money so that you can see a doctor. You need to prepare, and most people avoid to go to hospital, because if you go to hospital, most of the time like there is a traffic, a lot of people waiting for cure, a lot of people want to wait for treatment. So normally most of the doctor takes special attention to those people who have physical injury. So for you, or a person who is like mentally they won't understand, they don't have time for that unless you need like to pay a lot of money to see a doctor, and a doctor will make sure that they get even more corruption, because it's not common, it's not something people think like this is an offering, this is the help. Few people, and there is no education. I haven't seen since I'm 27 years, I never had like even at school like doctors are visiting, or there is any program like we see here, like HIV programs, like a program which they're educating people about HIV, but mental sickness, no. So no education.
I haven't seen, but I know it might be there, but maybe it's awareness still.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned some interesting things in there. So you mentioned one is that doctors primarily focus on the physical symptoms. So if someone who is physically appear as being ill, and they don't necessarily have time for the mental health component, so they may not even ask questions such as, are you sad most of the time? Do you cry and not understand why you cry? Do you have feelings of hopelessness? I mean, these are typical symptoms of depression that you may not hear if you go to a hospital. You also mentioned there's a financial burden when it comes to healthcare in general, but I can also understand that if mental illness is of low priority, it sounds like people don't even have the means of getting help if they even wanted to get help, because it costs a lot and it's not cost effective. You also mentioned education. So do you feel that the education is not just only from the citizens of your community, but do you feel that the doctors lack education and mental illness, because they can actually ask questions? But do you feel that that's a part of it as well?
I'm sure the doctor which they have that education, but they're not promoted. Doctor will go over, maybe I can say most of the government hospital, they will provide them with the opportunity, which is not, they will give them priority with, for example, most of the clients, most of the patients, which maybe they're like sick in terms of a doctor cannot be having only one career or one so
Gotcha.
sometimes they take position even if it's not what they need.
Yes.
It's like if you see, like I studied tourism, but if I think like a city tour it's give me much earning, I might not be doing like other kind of tourism like fishing tourism or what. I will like concentrate in one sector which give me more earning. So it seems like there are people study that, but they look for what give them more. It's not, that is like from heart.
Yes.
You need to do from heart, and you help people. You feel like I'm helping, even you don't care about what you get, how much money you get. But here, like people will think of what give them the most, so they will apply on a position even if it doesn't fit them. They won't take of what they studied or what they interesting to do.
Yes.
Because there are no many people who go for the same mental sickness to go to consult doctor. Yeah, they won't go. Yeah.
I definitely understand what you're saying. So in America, we actually have specialty providers.
Yeah.
So for example, I'm a doctor, but I specialize in mental health.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that there are general doctors or practitioners who primarily may specialize in what is predominant in one's community. So let's say in your community, there are many people who have diabetes, for example.
Yeah.
So they may send someone
Yeah.
who is well trained in managing diabetes. I definitely understand. So what you're saying is that there are general practitioners, but it's not necessarily that they're not educated, but they may not focus on that for various reasons, including if it's a strong strength of them to be able to manage that as a physician. Definitely understand. Do you have any doctors that you're aware of from your community that are actually, or any not doctors? Maybe a grandmother, maybe someone who is known in the community to help in someone who's dealing with depression, anxiety. Are there any tools that you all use when someone is not mentally feeling well?
No, I don't have much experience on that. I really don't know, because here generally if people they have mental sickness, they don't think of bringing them to hospital because they don't know what treatment will they get.
Right.
Maybe because some they believe on witch doctors, like they will go to witch doctor. It's traditional way of curing, like witch doctor, which they will give you like plant medicine. They will give you like, they treat them in terms of spiritual belief. They won't bring them direct to the hospital.
So so that's something that I wanted to definitely expound upon. So when someone, let's say, what is your idea of depression? Like if someone is depressed and it's someone that you know, would they actually go to a family member and talk about it? Is this something that's even discussed within the family unit or in the cultural, in the community?
In depression in a family, people will know like you have depression, and you can try to for example, if I think like most of the time I'm overreacting, so most of the time I fight with my sister, most of the time I may think maybe there's something wrong with me, I can consult my aunt and tell her like this and this. They can advise me, but in another way they think like you yourself you're rude. They won't think like you seek help. They'll take it like your disability, like your weakness. They'll take it as your weakness. So people don't want to explain because they know at the end a person won't give you correct solution unless they will judge you. So most people avoid because they know they will be judged. They know that a person will take you in a negative way, that a person will tell everybody about your weakness because they won't take it as secretly or what. As you consult them, it's like you expose yourself and everybody will talk about yourself. You won't get correct answers of how to help yourself. Most people don't consult. They take it.
And I find that to be very sad, and that's exactly what we experience in America. Many individuals, like your country in Arusha, may consider mental illness as being weak, may be bad, may not even open up to how they feel because they feel like they're being judged. So it's very interesting that regardless of where you are, you yourself, and it's a global type of connection where many cultures, including yours, may actually have the same experience and response to how mental health is perceived. Interesting. Is there anything that you would like to share with the followers in regards to mental illness? Like anything as far as what you feel, and I know and I don't want to put you on the spot here,
Yeah.
but do you feel that there can be certain solutions? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you need as a country
Yeah.
to where people, you feel that people would open up, they would seek help, they would no longer look at this as an illness or a
Yeah.
weakness, because that's a part of the myth that mental
Yeah.
illness is weak and you can't live with a
Yeah.
mental illness. But most mental illnesses are treatable or manageable. And so I feel that as a doctor, my mission is to make sure or educate and make people aware of that, but also to gain an understanding from cultures without, disrespecting a culture, but trying to understand what's needed in order for people to feel open about how they feel, and if they need help, they can seek help.
Yeah, I know. I think there must be some, here like how NGOs works. Like if there is a particular sector which really deal with educating people, that could be. I know maybe there are few. I haven't seen one. Maybe there are few and people don't know, because I could be the first one to go there. Because I have so many questions in my mind about my life in general. As I I was born like I have single parent. I have half brother and sisters. There's some question which make like a gap between me and my family when I was younger. There are so many questions, and I know there are so many people like me who want answers for their life, because sometimes you might end up like feeling like my family don't love me, my family like this and this. Maybe it's just my thought, like it's not really life. It's just like I'm affected mentally, thinking like it's difficult to have like people who care about you. So I know that so many people want something like that. So if there is a program, if there is a or in volunteer who are coming and tell like providing education even from school, even student from school, they'll be happy. I'm sure youth mostly, because youth are the best teacher too, because they're going to tell their parent. They'll see how their parent act, and I know some student here, they get so much fight with their parents. Maybe parents themselves, they have like emotional, and they have problems, so they make even so much problem, like no good relationship between parent and children mostly happen. So if you concentrate with youth, it's very easy for youth themselves to educate the whole community.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very awesome that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because in various cases, I mean, like the media and how we communicate to our family is through youth. And that's a very good point that you raised.
Yeah.
Very good point. So from your experience, you find that if the youth were educated and made aware, that they would actually have conversations within their homes.
Yes.
And do you feel that families or parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins would be more apt to have even start the conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. You also mentioned volunteers. So volunteers who are more than willing to come and just talk to communities about mental health, provide awareness and education. You think that a culture would seek more, I guess, assistance if it's needed?
Yes, because as I say, like there is lack of trust between members of like a local themselves, because they say like this person will expose me, but if they see like a person like from other country, any person from any other country, like a volunteer, and form a group, giving them education, they'll be motivated and more open compared to a person in your own community.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There are also a number of pharmaceutical companies that we have in America, and I know that are global, that are different from America, that often provide samples for patients. Not necessarily, not stating that everyone needs medication to help manage their mental illness. Some people may just need, like you're saying, a therapist, like a person to talk to help figure things through.
Yeah.
But do you find that would you think that your community would be interested, like let's say they have a disorder that requires medication in order to feel better emotionally or internally, do you think that people be apt to take medications if they're free?
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, as I said earlier, medical treatment is somehow expensive. Most people avoid to go to hospital. They think like they'll pay money. Even in a government school hospital, which is mostly we compare them cheaper, because most of things you don't pay. Healthcare, we don't pay, but you need to make a role. Like if you go in the morning, you get treatment at the evening or afternoon. There is no like you won't get treatment at the same time of time. So unless maybe sometime you give corruption or a doctor. So people still count like medical things. It's expensive. If it's consuming your time, like time is money. If you consume your time, maybe that time you could do any business, or you can. So it's like, so if you give them medical for free, why should they not take? If they get even for less money, or if they get in it, if we try to accessibility to reach them, like where they are, they'll take it, and I'm sure they'll be happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you also feel that it's important for someone from your community to be present and to promote awareness of mental health?
Perfect.
For example, I'm African American, and I know in my community is unlike, I mean, we also have certain communities also have a distrust between, you know, blacks versus outside of blacks, so other cultures that are providing the help. And it's there's a definitely different historical perspectives about that, which give reason to why people don't trust doctors. But in your case, do you feel that, I mean, I don't want to be looked as an outsider, but I am.
Yeah.
So do you feel that people will be more apt to have someone from your community to help promote this awareness, that would be helpful? Or do you feel that people are so in desperate need that they're willing to seek doctors who are volunteers to help become their therapist or to help manage their disorder and to help continue that management?
No, I'm sure they'll trust it much if there is local people over there in volunteer, because local people will cooperate it very well, and also it's easy for volunteer, because you cannot trust a stranger completely 100%.
Right.
We need like both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm almost done. I really do appreciate your time, Glory. You had
you.
mentioned something about spirituality.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why you brought up spirituality? Is your definition or your perception of mental illness, does it involve spirituality?
Yeah. It's a belief, or it's a belief ever since, like if a person is sick, maybe if you have an enemy or your neighbor who doesn't like you, and say, like, there is a belief, like, I don't know how to explain it, but normally there is a belief, like which doctor you think, like which people from the local area which you think like they can do wrong, or like they can kill you, like spiritually. Yeah, so those spiritual beliefs are there. People, they think like it's like taboo kind of. So they think like it's very easy for a person who has spiritual belief like to kill you. So most of the people who have like those mental diseases, it's a belief too. If they have an enemy, they know it's somebody who,
Interesting.
yeah, who caused that. Or
Interesting.
somebody, even at work, if people like even they lose their job, most of the time they will think of their enemy and say, oh, maybe you went to a witch doctor and make me this way. Like now I'm getting accident or what? Oh, my life is worthy. Like my life is bad. Yeah, my life like miserable.
So
it's
what
just
do
because
individuals in that
so
case
mentally.
actually do? Are you aware what decisions they would make if that was something that they believed? I mean, where do they go from there?
They will go to seek also the witch doctor to get solution. If the person is not like that kind, he will go to the church and asking for prayer and say like, So and the pastor or somebody may think, maybe
And would
you
this
have
be a
or
Christianity, or would this be a Muslim faith, or would this be?
it depends on a person who is affected, but mostly if a person is a Christian and think like her life is bad, maybe she's having so much fight with the colleague at work, maybe nobody like her, she think like maybe there is somebody don't want me in a position, so they'll go to a witch doctor and try to solve, like, I want to my position, like I'm fighting with my colleague, maybe people want me to lose my job, they go there. But if a person is a Christian, will go to a pastor and say like, can you pray for me because my life is not good, I feel like there are people who maybe send devil to me or what. So those are beliefs which sometimes happen. People mostly with a mental disease, they think like somebody is mixing up with their life.
I definitely understand that because being an American, and especially particularly an African American, many members of my culture actually go to faith-based church. They go to deacons, pastors, mothers of the church, and they actually seek guidance in prayer, meditation, and so it's somewhat a very similar experience to being black in America, which is also part of, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I do feel that there's certain disorders or conditions that people are dealing with that are also spiritually reflected within their functioning, but I also believe that after they seek prayer or ask for help, that that's the end of the road.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily go to a mental health provider
That is
who
true.
is educated.
Yeah.
So do you feel that that is probably a primarily something that your culture does because of the lack of doctors that are available to talk
Yeah.
about mental health, because
Yeah.
of the lack of finances that are available?
Yeah.
It's too costly. You were considered to be judged or considered to be weak.
Yeah.
So all of these are stigmatizing the disorder.
Yeah.
And so they would go to,
A pastor.
okay,
And talk
all
to
right.
them, telling them what about their life, how they
Yes.
feel in one way or another, what's bothering them. Yeah, doctor, church. Most people consult like member from church. Yeah,
Yes.
mostly like thinking of going to doctor. Yeah.
Okay. Glory, thank you so much.
My
I really
pleasure.
appreciate
Yeah.
your time.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your experience. It's very humbling that you're talking about mental health, especially as it relates to your experience as being from Arusha, Tanzania. And I just really do appreciate that. Again, thank you, followers, for following us
you.
today. Yeah, so we're going to continue this vibe. I am Dr. Dawn, Psych MD. I am the world's favorite psychiatrist. I have Miss Glory here with me, who's been amazing.
Thank
and
you.
she is an amazing person.
You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And just remember, you all, the things that Miss Glory mentioned are the things that Americans are affected with, British are affected with, Africans are affected with, Australians are affected with. I know there are many people who watch this broadcast. So it's important to understand that mental health is not a family situation, it's not an individual situation, it's not a cultural situation, it's not even a situation within our communities, but it is a global situation. Everyone is affected. Even if you're not personally affected, you are indirectly affected. So let's hear what Glory has to say. I am so, motivated to play this back and try to see what I can do to assist in providing the awareness, the education, the needs that Miss Glory specifically mentioned. It's time out to think about what is good for us. It's time to make sure that we hear and communicate with people of different communities, different cultural backgrounds, different faiths, and take a stand against the stigma of mental health. Too many people are suffering, and it's time. It's time. So thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, have a good evening. I know it's early morning in USA,
Yeah.
but it's glorious here in Tanzania.
Yeah.
Take care. Talk to you soon.